Okay, let's dive right into this. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're unpacking a massive, industry-shifting claim that just quietly emerged out of Japan. We're looking at a brand new AI breakthrough called Sakana Fugu. Now, look, we all know the AI space moves incredibly fast, right? But every once in a while, something drops that makes those of us who use these tools every single day stop and pay very close attention. And this is definitely one of those moments. The claim here isn't just about some slightly smarter chatbot. No, it's about an entirely new structure of AI that reportedly bypasses the heavy export bans currently locking down the world's most powerful models. We're going to break down exactly what this tech is, the absolutely staggering real-world demos it's producing, and most importantly, how the source materials suggest you can actually plug it into your daily workflows. I want to start with a quote that perfectly captures the hook that's got the entire AI community buzzing right now. What if one small lab just matched Fable 5 with no export ban? Just think about that for a second. To give you some context, elite frontier models like Fable 5 and Mythos, they represent the absolute pinnacle of restricted, state-of-the-art AI. And they are currently operating under strict export controls. They're locked down tight, meaning most everyday users and developers simply cannot touch them. But according to our source, this small lab in Japan has released something out in the open that is allegedly hitting that exact same restricted level performance ceiling. It's a wildly provocative statement, right? Achieving top-tier enterprise-level power, but actually making it accessible to the public. So how exactly does Fugu pull this off? Well, it's not your typical AI. It is what's defined here as a conductor model. So instead of imagining it as a single giant brain, think of it as an orchestrator sitting on top of a massive pool of other top-tier models. When you give it a prompt, Fugu doesn't just try to answer it all by itself. It actually decides which specific models to call upon, when to trigger them, and how to make them collaborate seamlessly to hand you back one perfectly clean answer. And here is the truly wild part highlighted in the source. Fugu wasn't hand-coded with rigid, if this, then that rules to do this orchestration. It's actually a model that actively learned how to best team up other models entirely on its own. It even calls copies of itself when that happens to be the most efficient route. It's brilliant. To really grasp this, let's contrast it with what we're used to. Traditional AI acts like a single brain. You ask a question, and one model does its absolute best to answer your prompt. It's a one-to-one relationship. But Sakana Fugu's architecture is an entire team of expert models taking on highly specific roles. This structure actually comes from two recent research papers called Trinity and Conductor. Under this system, models get distinct jobs. You've got a thinker that plans the approach, a worker that actually builds or executes the task, and a checker that double-checks the work before it ever gets back to you. They split the job up, review each other's output, and deliver a unified result. It's literally like having an entire agency working on your prompt. The absolutely crucial point here is how this team-based architecture actually performs out in the wild. According to the claims we're analyzing today, the top version, which is called Fugu Ultra, reportedly stands shoulder to shoulder with those lockdown titans, Fable 5 and Mythos Preview. And it does this specifically on the absolute hardest coding and reasoning tests out there. Now, we're relying on the source's data here, but if that's accurate, it means this conductor method is a completely valid workaround to achieve elite performance. It's not necessarily the exact same underlying tech as those massive models, but by coordinating a team of accessible models, it's reportedly hitting that exact same high water mark of capability. And again, out in the open, where anyone can leverage it. All right, let's see how this translates into actual tangible proof. The source walks through three incredibly complex demos that honestly just make you sit up and take notice. First up, a complete working website generated from just one single prompt. We're not talking about some rough wireframe or a text outline here. The model planned the layout, wrote the underlying code, styled it, and delivered a fully functioning site with zero back-and-forth prompting required. Second, it built a playable maze game from scratch. It didn't just slap a nice graphic together. It wrote the logic, built the walls, and established the player mechanics so you could literally navigate through it. And the third one, the one that really proves its raw capability, is a moving, fully operational galaxy simulator complete with star motion built from a single request. What's vital to understand here is why it actually succeeds at these long, complex tasks. Remember that checker role we talked about? That checker prevents the AI from going off the rails or hallucinating halfway through a job. And if you've ever watched a standard chatbot confidently invent fake information, you know that is a massive failing point. But despite those amazing demos, we really need to pivot our perspective for a minute. The source drops this fantastic quote. A strong model with no structure around it is a strong model doing nothing. And that is really the core thesis of our explainer today. Think about it. Even if you have the smartest AI in the world, a raw model just sitting there in a chat window is basically waiting for you to babysit it. It requires you to constantly type, prompt, and guide it along. If you're using AI for business or serious creation, party tricks and cool demos just aren't going to cut it. You need it to do real work. Which brings us to a phenomenal analogy. Think of Sakana Fugu as the engine. It provides the raw cognitive muscle and the internal coordination of the models. But an engine just sitting on a garage floor isn't going to take you anywhere, right? You need the car. And in this case, the car is an operating framework, or what the source refers to as an agent OS. The agent OS provides the crucial structure, the memory, the sequential steps, the access to tools, and the overarching workflow. Because Fugu uses a standard open style of connection, you can drop it directly into an operating framework. And once you connect those two, you aren't just chatting with an AI anymore. You've got an orchestration brain automatically executing complex workflows without you needing to hover over your keyboard. So, what does this engine and car combination actually look like in the real world? Well, the source neutrally outlines how they applied this exact setup to automate the heavy lifting in their own business, a community called the AI Profit Boardroom. Instead of staring at a blank page, they use this integrated system to draft entire targeted content series. We're talking generating scripts, hooks, and captions all in one pass. They use it to map out complete 30-day onboarding flows for new members, from welcome messages to resource guides, all generated from a single foundational prompt. And they even use it to create comprehensive tool walkthroughs and prompt packs behind the scenes. By wrapping Fugu in a system, it completely shifts from being a conversational novelty to a full-on automated production line. It dramatically frees up human time. Now, this framework approach addresses a massive headache in the tech world: shiny object syndrome. We all know the constant, exhausting release cycle of new tools. But wrapping your model in an operating system provides massive longevity benefits. First off, it strictly keeps the steps in order so big tasks don't just fall apart. Second, you do the hard work of setting up the framework just once, and then you get to reuse that exact same system forever. But the third point is the absolute game changer. When a newer, faster, or smarter model comes out next month, and you know it will, you don't have to throw your whole workflow in the trash. Because Fugu sits inside the framework, you simply swap the new model in as the new engine. Your car, meaning your workflows and automations, stays exactly the same. You literally future-proof your business against the relentless pace of AI updates. Let's validate some of these exciting claims with this source's benchmark data. As you'd expect, Fugu Ultra either leads or ties against the absolute best publicly available models from major labs on the intensive software engineering tests and the hard reasoning tests. It completely proves the concept that the conductor, the team, is indeed smarter than the individual players. But there's a really fascinating detail in this data. On the long document tests, the lighter version, regular Fugu, actually wins out over the Ultra version. It's a great reminder that sometimes having slightly less coordination and fewer models getting involved is actually better when you're just trying to read and process massive walls of text. It's all about picking the right tool for the job. To help you deploy this tech effectively without wasting your time or money, the source offers 4 highly practical tips. Let's just fire through them. Tip 1, start with the lighter Fugu model for your everyday stuff. Save the heavy Fugu Ultra only for the truly difficult, long-form jobs where you really need that deep coordination. Tip 2, give it big, messy jobs. This system was literally built to untangle complexity with its thinker-worker-checker structure, so please don't waste its potential on writing a 2-sentence email. Tip 3, be aware that this is a paid tool with tiered plans, so evaluate your actual usage before committing to a heavy, expensive tier. And tip 4, which we've heavily emphasized today, do not run this model raw in a chat window. Put it inside a structured system if you want real, actionable results. Which leaves us with a really vital question to ask yourself as we wrap up today's explainer. Are you just poking at a chat window, or are you building a system that runs? Sakana Fugu has shown us that the future of OpenAI isn't necessarily just one giant, restricted superbrain. It's smart, accessible conductor models managing teams of specialized AI. But the ultimate power, it doesn't lie in the model itself. It lies in the framework you build around it. If you're still just manually typing prompts to babysit an AI, you are leaving massive efficiency on the table. It's time to stop chatting and start orchestrating. Thank you so much for joining me to unpack this fascinating breakthrough, and I highly encourage you to rethink how you interact with these incredible tools going forward. Catch you next time.